نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Mufti Zahir reminded us of COVID, and very quickly we forgot our situation and our mental, emotional status in COVID. See, we're accustomed to doing whatever we want. And it seemed like after a long time in our lifetimes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a full stop to everything. And if you remember, one of the things that came out of COVID was the mandate to wear the mask, correct? Right? Everybody remembers the mandate to wear a mask, some people are still wearing them. Now imagine, sometimes we see things, but you have to put them into perspective so that it makes some sense to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a mask on our face. Now I want you to think of it as a muzzle. The reason why a muzzle is put on is so that the person can be in control. Just doesn't say or do whatever where it becomes harmful to themselves or to someone else. Now, when COVID happened, was there lockdown here in England as well? Masajid were closed? How many of you, and again this is a rhetorical question, you could answer it out loud or inside. How many of you were able to experience the Ramadan that you normally did in 2019? Or all the years before that? At your home now, you have to do the 20 rakahs. Now how many people, raise your hand if you're brave enough, know more than 20 surahs that you could Rolodex through those 20 rakahs? If I was to sit here and say, Pluto, Mars, banana, pancake, then I said again, Pluto, Mars, banana, pancake. Pluto, Mars, banana, pancake. You say, this is Moni Saboli knows Pluto, Mars, banana, pancake. That's all he knows. Probably from Pluto, went to Mars, likes banana and pancakes. But how many of you would be willing to hear me if I only repeated just that? And I said nothing else. Doesn't it seem a little ajib and weird to only read Surah Kafirun and Surah Ikhlas and Salah all the time? For every 2 rakahs that you read? There's no responsibility upon us where there are 114 surahs. We only focus on 2. And those of you that say, well, reading Surah Ikhlas 3 times gets you the word of the whole Quran, well, you're only reading it twice, so you're still missing 1/3. And in COVID, where the holiest month of the entire year, that's 30 days, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala locks up shaitan so you can excel and you can do a job that your Allah knows that if you progress through Ramadan, you'll go through the mercy, the forgiveness, and eventually, if you behave well enough and you search it and you put in the effort, you can get emancipation from the fire of Jahannam. But at that moment, we raise our hands and we did dua, Ya Allah, give me the ability to read Quran. Because I can't do this. Ya Allah, bless my Imam. We don't appreciate him enough because he stands up here and does it and makes it, for us it's become autopilot. You say, Allahu Akbar, the Imam does all the job. And we know, he does a good job, we get the reward. He does a bad job, he gets all the bad deeds. So you Qurban the Imam for Allah. Allah, we do the niyyah behind him and we give him back to you. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But in COVID, you came to realize how deficient and distant you are from our Quran al-Kareem. So now that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed us back into His home, the first thing we need to remember is, whose house is this? Whose house? Anyone else disagree? Raise your hand. In your house, do whatever you want. You pay the bills. And here, you're not paying the bills, you're supporting the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if for any reason you have an issue with it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will find somebody else to do it. We are interchangeable in this house. In our home today, we can't raise our voices. You can't say what you feel like and want to say because there will be feedback. But in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's okay to say whatever you want, to whoever you want, in the manner that you see fit. we as Muslims sometimes behave better at Tesco than we did in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that should not be the standard. The people that you see standing in front of you, there is nothing compelling them to stay here and serve you. And if they're serving you, you have to understand they're not your servant, they are the servant of Allah. And if there is no adab, there goes half your deen. And you can't be reading Quran al-Kareem and the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the least that you extract from that should be adab. Even when listening to the Quran, you have to shut up and listen. Doesn't mean you shirt up here, not shirt up, pant down. Okay? So there are these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you where you have learned, and again, you have to bring in the best of your manners when you step into those doors. Why? Because when you step into these doors, what do you say? Allahumma aftahli abab rahmatin, not abab rubbish or whatever. So when you walk in, I want you to understand this musalla right here, everyone is not gifted and fortunate to stand here. The musalla is the place of whose? Where did the first musalla come from? We're going to give you some homework today. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, right? Imam al-Anbiya wal Mursaleen. He led all the Anbiya in Salah where? Masjid al-Aqsa. This is not an easy job. In Ramadan, usually I request those that know some parts of Quran, if they're brave enough that day, just please give me a break, come recite Tarawih that day. If the Imam takes a wrong breath from the wrong hole in the body, all of a sudden, mashallah, in Fatiha he gets a luqma. He, bichara, didn't get any luqma for iftar, but you're giving him all the luqma in salah and he can't benefit from it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the adab of this deen, grant us the adab of Quran al-Kareem, grant us the adab of the ulama, because these are the ambassadors of the deen. And again, these are the people of Allah. You know who would defend them? And if He's defending them against you and I, we're done. It's not going to work out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all the tawfiq. I was going to say something else, but you know, think of your Ramadan in COVID every time you step into this masjid. And every time the Imam is reading Quran and doing tilawah, think of it and measure yourselves. How long have you been alive? 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years? Why is it that when you open Surah Al-Fatiha that you read over 30 times a day, you sound like a stranger and a foreigner? Everyone loves to come and lead. I have a condition. If you like to lead, please come read Surah Al-Fatiha. If your Fatiha has mistakes, one of the ways that you can judge someone's Quran al-Kareem, you don't even have to get the Fatiha. Read the ta'awuz and basmala and immediately you can pass or fail. If your tajweed in a'udhu billah is wrong, then you forget getting protection from shaitan. You need to enroll in Dar al-Ilm and learn how to read a'udhu billah bismillah. Otherwise, you will become your sadaqah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.